Hello, everybody. This is Jimmy with Battles and Journeys. Listen, there is a lot of noise out there, a lot of ruckus, a lot of things that's taking your attention off of what's important. Pull away from the noise, pull away from the distractions, find a place of peace and a place of quietness, and pull away from that noise. Don't lend your ear to those who have low vibrations or a low way of thinking, or they only think in one dimensional. When you give or lend your energy to dysfunctional and negative voices, it will drain you. Then you'll begin to recreate that same type of energy in your daily life. Then the law of reciprocity will be at work. You start to reap what you've sown. Don't be enthralled with the dark, low vibrational voices that only sucks the life out of you, that'll only take you on an emotional roller coaster ride. Then you'll look back and wonder, how did I get entangled in all of this? Don't be that person. You're smarter than that. Pull away from all of the noise. Listen, be a critical thinker and not a crippled thinker. When you allow someone else to think for you, it's like having a tow truck repossessing a vehicle for non payments, or a tow truck coming to tow a vehicle that is broken. Don't allow another person to use their tow truck or their way of thinking to pull or arrest your thinking to mirror their thoughts without you thinking critically. It's okay to hear another person's opinion, but when the door is closed and the lights are out, you and I should make choices based on our decision. After you have processed the information, you make the decision because you're the one that is going to be left with the decisions you've made. Stop allowing another person's voice to be responsible for the decisions you make. Your mind or your ability to think is not broken. Just use it. God has given you this mind. It is powerful. Use your own mind. Just listen to the facts and the facts only and make a decision after asking qualifying questions. Just get away from all this noise. There's a lot of noise around my story. Just pull away from the noise. Find a place of peace. As a matter of fact, you can measure a person's life by the decisions that they've made for themselves, especially if you follow them or you take their advice. However, though, we've all made decisions that we wish we could go back and redecide. For an example, some relationships that we severed, we could have cut them off differently. You have two knives. You have a butcher's knife and you have a surgical knife. That surgical knife is more precise. It's still going to hurt when you cut it off. It's still going to hurt. Or when you cut it, when you use it to cut, it's going to hurt. But that butcher's knife, it's more damaging. Anyone that's in close proximity to a person who's using a butcher's knife will have blood all, splattered all over them. Take for an example, the noise leaks into your life and it disrupts your life. It just wherever it hits, it cuts, and whoever it hits, it cuts and it butchers it up. So use wisdom in how you cut off relationships. You can use a butcher's knife, or you can use a surgical knife that is more precise. Some relationships that we cut off, we butchered it when it should have been surgically removed. So we have to learn from those experiences and learn how to use wisdom when we are severance in our relationships with people, places, and things. Let me tell you something about my story. If my story is older than you, or just as old as you, then I'm not going back and forth with you because you don't have the capacity to judge or to weigh in on or to understand the impact of that time. It's impossible for you to even begin to grasp what it was like during that time. For an example, I have older siblings. Um, I am the baby of eight. And some of my older siblings would talk about how my mother struggled and to raise her children with having a husband. Our father was there, who was present but absent. They were there during that time and they saw the struggles that my mother went through. We had a father that was there, present but absent, absent in helping her to raise their children together. But all of this happened before I was born. Like I said, I am the baby of eight. And when they tell these stories and their experiences, I really tried to imagine that time, but I couldn't. I couldn't even imagine because I wasn't born. I was void of understanding. I could not comprehend what it felt like to experience the things that they were talking about. So I could be sympathetic, but I couldn't empathize because I was not here to experience it. I was not a part of that process. I didn't know what it was like to live during those times. So, does it mean our mother didn't have difficulties because I wasn't alive to see her experience her pain? No. It does not negate the fact that she went through the struggles that she went through. Having a husband there and still having to walk to take her child or children to the babysitter or walk them to school for miles and miles and miles away. Remember, it was a little country place. So I don't have the capacity to even try to grasp the understanding of what she went through. But just because I wasn't here to experience that doesn't mean that she walked through that life. It simply means I don't have the capacity to understand and judge the pain because I wasn't there. Now, on the other hand, my older siblings were there to experience what she'd gone through. And I can hear the impact in their voice, how it impacted their life. You could hear it in their voice. When you've walked through the experience, the weight of the experience can be heard in a person's voice. And also, when you're just repeating someone else's story without the experience, there is an emptiness. There is a emptiness that comes through the voice of the person that is telling someone else's story. And this is why we cannot allow anyone else to tell our story, our experiences, our life, our voice that's connected with the experience will bring about the impact. It simply will reverberate and it will touch the hearts of those who have gone through abuse, any type of abuse. It's important that you open your mouth and speak your story. Talk about your experience. Unmute and hit play. Write your story in ink so someone else can write it in pencil and erase it. So no one else will have the power to change the narrative of your story. People will have opinions, let them have them. People won't understand, they won't understand. Those who can understand and the impact of your voice can reach them, to reach their core. It can reach their core and it will bring about an explosion inside of them and it will activate them. So pull away from the noise. You tell your own story. You got to reevaluate some things and disconnect from the drama of life and live in a place of peace. Pick your battles. Stop fighting just because everyone else is fighting. hold on to your peace of mind. Don't be okay with mind control. As a matter of fact, find something productive to do, like read a good book, or learn another language, or find something that's going to help you in life. Perhaps find a good stock to invest in. Better yet, go get you some life insurance. Get your life insurance policy if you don't have one. Find something to do that will better you. When you remove, when all of the venom is extracted and all the egos are removed, we still have victims who are hurting and crying out for help and are wanting to be heard. Pull away from the noise and distractions. The victims need your moral support. Don't run the risk of re victimizing victims.